So for the second project for this Cricut course, I've decided I've finally figured out how to do this, is how to use the Cricut machine to cut out a net in order to fold a polyhedron. The standard that I'm trying to address with this, it's a 7th grade standard, but my 8th graders tend to need to do the review. And I'm also trying to prep them for high school geometry, is surface area of a polygon or polyhedron. Is they have a hard time with that. Given, I mean, if they have cubes and rectangular prisms, they're no problem. But when they start getting into, you know, shapes that have triangles in them and hexagon for a base, they have a hard time with that. So one thing we try to do is to have them build these polyhedra from nets. And what I've done in the past is I've gone to this website here, this coral, and I never know how to say this, but they have, let me come back. They have all these different polyhedra they have nets for that you can make and cut out and have students assemble. They get very fancy. If I ever have more time, I'd like to explore some of these other ones. But for today, I'm going to focus on a pyramid, and I'm going to focus on a hexagonal pyramid. And that's what it looks like, their beautiful little version of it. I don't know that my one that I made looks that bad. So what you do is just scroll down. You're going to come to the one you want. I never use these print buttons because they tend to take me to places where I don't want to go and try to install things. So I'm just going to do a copy image. I'm going to come to a paint program. I'm going to paste it in. Then what I've found the Design Space wants me to do in order to make this work easily is to delete all the text. And then I'm gonna actually crop this image down a little bit. I don't think I need to. I never have not done it though. And let me scroll up and get the whole thing. I think that's everything. Yeah, let's crop that. Then I'm gonna save it to my desktop. Here, I've got an old version of it right here, so I'll save it. Then I'm going to come to my Design Space. I'm going to upload that file. Actually, I'm going to do a new. Actually, let me just do a new one. Okay, there's a new one. I'm going to upload an image. I'm going to go get that hexagonal prism and pyramid net that I just drew or created. You have to click on it to get rid of the excess. I'm sure you know how to do that. Or there's other tutorials that'll show you. So I'm going to save that, insert it in my set of images. And then, of course, they have that limitation that you can't have an image any longer than 9 1/4. So I'll stop it at 9. Maybe I'll go a little bit longer. Okay. So then comes the trick is you have to insert score lines on all these places where you're going to fold it. The way of course, you know how to do this. I'm going to insert the score line, and then I'm going to drag it, and I have to, this is the part's a little bit tedious, and it also is a little exacting because I found if I didn't line them up perfectly, the fold didn't work well. So, but I have to do this for each of the fold lines. And then I have to do that, well, there's 12 faces if you think about it. And I honestly think this might be something I'm gonna, if I ever have students do this on the Cricut, I want to make the connection to that Euler's formula that talks about the edges and the vertices and the, let's see, where is it? The edges, the vertices, and the faces. He's got a formula. I'd have to look it up to be honest, like what it is. But that's all related to this. So it's pretty cool. That's a way to do it. So I have 12 edges. So I'm going to have, actually I'm going to have 13 fold lines because, or 13 score lines because I have to repeat. Well, I guess I don't need one here, do I? So I guess I can get away with the 6 here and then the 6 here. So I guess I do only need 12. Well, that's a good connection. Okay, so I'll stop and you don't have to see me all do all those. So what really threw me about this is I was thinking I had to weld all these score lines onto the thing and onto the project. And what would happen when I cut it, it would would put the score lines up here, not even on the image that I wanted. So what I learned with a little research is that if I attach them and don't weld them, then it works pretty well. So why don't I go ahead and make it, and I'll show you my result. One thing that I wanted to share also is that I don't have access to an inkjet printer here at school. Though I just found out I actually do, but it's nowhere near my computer right now. So I've been just printing on paper with a laser jet, and of course I'm using cardstock, and it's been actually working okay. So I wouldn't hesitate to use a laser jet printer. I'm not going to run vinyl through it, but that's what I've been doing. So as you can see, it printed just fine on that cardstock, and of course I got it loaded. And then what I wanted to show you is I've been using a scoring stylus, and then the knife that came with the unit. And it's going to see it really does a pretty nice job. So as you can see on this in this finished net that I've got cut, you can see the score lines. You can see how I'm a little bit off on them. So I don't know if it's faster to do it this way or to do it just with paper folds, but I do know that I can do this with much stiffer paper, the cardstock, than I could before. So I think it's worth spending the time on it. I don't know if this helps anybody. You can certainly point people to it. So that's my project.